Knowing the map, along with any game-specific mechanics, is a key factor in how you proceed with your planning. Does the map follow a basic style? Or is there a specific method to get your stars, some of which may require a gamble? It also helps to know if there's something on the board that impacts your route. These can be events that transport you and other players, possible roadblocks or gates, and needing a specific cycle on certain pathways. Of course, each game's specific mechanic also applies. Things that you want to consider are: can I make coins outside of blue spaces or minigames? How does getting items work? And can I shift my inventory even if it's full? For basic maps, how does the star cycle work? What events can happen during the last 5 turns and other bonus spaces, such as DK or Bowser spaces, dual spaces, chance time, and whatnot? Are there certain events on timers or countdowns? So, for example, we have the day and night system, Bowser Land's Parade, Mario Party 7's Bowser Time, Spaceland and Waluigi's Island counter, etc. Just like with minigames, some maps will test some traits better than others, and other maps are going to be more luck reliant. I mean, I can't fault someone if they get stuck in a loop or roll hilariously low across the game. I think it's best if I dive into a specific board, which I'll use Mario Party 6's Treetop, and address these questions for a better demonstration. But let's say we already knew the type of map, which Treetop is a basic map, and how game-specific mechanics work. For consistency, let's assume these are 20 to 25 turn games. I'm not going to go into an overview or optimization of each map of 6 and 7 because that would take its own series to do. Unless you guys really want me to, I'm going to say this. Checking the map is your best friend. Yes, I'm the type of person who will spend 5 to 10 minutes checking the map before doing a move. Count ahead, usually up to 10, and figure out your route by the first junction instead of counting on every junction when the game offers it to you. One thing I first ask is, where are my items? I need to know where my item resources are in order to have better influence of the game. Not only that, but also, are there long gaps without items if I don't roll high enough? To me, a good indicator is if you roll a 10 and you don't interact with any event or grab an item or decide your pathway at a junction, it's probably long. Because trust me, rolling low in an itemless gap is terrible. The next thing I need to know is what does each event do, and in more detail. Some events will have you play a minigame for rewards, which is worth getting good at. Others can warp you, or give or take away a resource. It's always important to know where everyone is at all times, which I'll dive into more later on, and if there are any specific timers in play. Finally, for a basic map, it's always good to know how the star spawns work and how it cycles. Thankfully, this example is pretty straightforward and Treetop follows a simple cycle, where there are exactly 6 predetermined star spawn locations, and it will cycle in the exact same order every time for that party game, once all 6 star spawns are gone through. Obviously, memorizing these key locations is good and gives you an objective advantage over someone who doesn't know the cycle. This also means that in this case, once you see the second to last star spawn, you can deduce where the final star location will be, and thus you will figure out the full cycle for this party game. Knowing the cycle also lets you play for the next star and get more resources when playing for the current star is not a viable option due to your position or your current resources. Sometimes it's actually better to forego the current star altogether and gather resources instead, so that you aren't stuck in an awkward position if you happen to lose the race to the star. This is Mario Party after all, so keep Murphy's Law in mind when you play this. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. To recap, once you know the game-specific mechanics and board-specific mechanics, influencing the board means understanding routes, events, and helpful resources on the board. Speaking of resources, next time I'll go a bit more in depth on resource management.